What's up, guys? Happy New Year or happy early New Year, you guys. Tony Busby let Jay-Z know he gonna be on top of his head from now till infinity. You guys, Tony Busby just on New Year's Eve submitted a letter response to the court, but you know he was subbing Jay-Z and Alex Spiro about the motion to dismiss that they calmly filed on Monday. Okay, today he had the response, and guess what? Tony Busby was saying, "Baby, I was waiting on you from the door." Tony Busby called out Jay-Z, called out their legal team. In a nutshell, right? He claims, right? Now, if you guys don't remember, Alex Spiro and Jay-Z, of course, this is all by Jay-Z's directive, wrote a letter to the court saying we plan to file a motion to dismiss. I know some people are like, Tisa, it's not a motion to dismiss. Calm down. Yeah, I will. But if you read the judge's rules for her court, every judge has a right to set the way that they want procedures to run in their court. She likes it when people give a letter to the court saying their intention to do something before they just actually rush in and do it. Okay. So by him, Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's lawyer, sending that letter saying we're going to file a motion to dismiss, and this is why, that they are really going to file that. Okay. What was their basis? They said that the case law doesn't support what Tony Busby. They said that the Gender Motivated Violence Act is the statute has told, and statute limitations has told, meaning that you can't bring it up anymore because the law doesn't even apply to you. Well, guess what? Tony Busby came back, right? He wasn't having it. He did a scathing letter and he dragged Jay-Z up and down the courtroom. He said that that whole argument is relying on outdated cases that barely hold water. He said that it is a desperate attempt at best. Now, you know, your girl got the legal documents and you know we are going to go for it with them. But y'all, this at this point for Jay-Z, I don't know if embarrassing is the right word, but remember last week when I was like, yo, you think Tony Busby regrets picking a fight with Jay-Z? Baby, everything has come full, not even full, 180. And now I'm like, Jay-Z, do you regret not settling? Because Tony Busby is not with the ish or giggles. And now that y'all tried to humiliate him and damage his reputation, he is coming back. Pow, 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 pow. Texas style. Listen, now here's the thing. Let me bring up the speed before I actually read the letters. Also, I really do want to say, you guys, Happy New Year's. If you are joining my live for the first time, welcome. It is always this warm, inviting, and chaotic. You know, we love chaos over here, right? And if you are a longtime viewer, tattletale, you know, this, that, and the third, I want to say, you guys, thank you so much for truly rocking with me every single year. I think the fates had it in plans that I would be spending New Year's Eve with you guys to a certain extent. And I'm really grateful to you guys and everything that you guys have let me achieve and supported me and helped me in achieving. I do think that it's bigger than me. I actually think we are a family and a community. And when I say stuff, it's not just me. It's what y'all are feeling. So thank you for letting me be a vessel for you guys to rant, to vent, to call a spade, to roll your eyes or side eye at the latest PR planted article or big media hatchet job that goes. I really am so grateful that you guys actually let me be the voice. And, you know, I do think that ties to training, Gene. It's not just me. There are a lot of voices out there. I get that, but I really am thankful for you guys actually letting me entertain you guys every day. And I promise in 2025 to honor you guys with a real microphone, a better camera. But I also have a lot of cool creative things going on. So if you like my style, I think 2025, you're going to see a big expansion. I'm ready. And thanks to you guys, I can make it happen. One last thing, you know, I got to do a shameless plug, but I mean, you guys really have to blame yourselves because at the end of the day, you guys actually made me what I am. So blame yourselves. You guys, really quick, don't forget, I do have a feature in the Hollywood Reporter. It is written by the great Shirley Halperin. If you don't know who Shirley Halperin is, just Google her name. She has written so many great articles. She's had an esteemed career. I'm not just saying that because she actually wrote something about me. She really is one of the illest and the realest writers out there. The Hollywood Reporter, the industry Bible, is talking about more Americans get their news from YouTube, and there's no going back. I think it's a great read. The link is in the description box of this video if you're watching it on playback. But yeah, okay, fine. I would say it's shameless self-promotion, but I'm promoting you guys. You guys make me what I am. So okay, so let me just bring everybody up to speed, and then we're going to get into the court papers. I'll be quick, right? Now, okay, if you guys don't remember, Jay-Z was claiming that the Jane Doe lawsuit under the GMV Act, that's the Gender Motivated Violence Act, should be thrown out because the law doesn't cover past incidents. He's saying that the law didn't get enacted till December 2000, and they're claiming that this incident happened September 7th, 2000, which is when the VMAs happened. You guys know, if you've been a long time watcher of this channel, I actually think this incident might have happened in 2003, but that's something that will be proven in court, okay? But get this, Busby did clap back. He is schooling Jay-Z on how the GMVA was specifically designed to fill the gap left by the Supreme Court controversial Morris decision. We'll get into that in the legal documents. I'm just giving you guys a rundown, all right? According to Tony Busby, okay, the law was meant to help survivors, not give powerful men a free pass. And get this, he didn't stop there, okay? They said that Jay-Z's other arguments are even shakier. Jay-Z saying that the events didn't even happen in New York City and that the case is time barred, all right? But Tony Busby calls that nonsense, poppycock. What do they call it in Texas? I don't know. He calls it nonsense or poppycock. He points out that the courts have already rejected this nonsense before, Jay-Z's whole legal argument, and that Jay-Z's attempt to bring in outside evidence is completely premature. What's that all mean? They're saying that Jay-Z's move just backfired in the messiest way possible. Now, this legal showdown is dripping. As you know, Jay-Z's team is trying to brush off serious claims, and Tony Busby is coming out swinging with receipts. Okay, is this another? Let's get into these documents because I do want to say this, right? I mean, Tony Busby hit a home where he was like, y'all can quote every single thing you want, but at the end of the day, the letter and the meaning of the law was to protect survivors, not to give people a get out of jail free card. Now, let me just be clear. Jay-Z has staunchly maintained his complete innocence. He is suing for extortion, blackmail. He is also suing for defamation. There was always also a bunch of suits launched against Tony Busby in Louisiana by people that have close ties, not even close ties, that work for Rockefeller. So they literally threw everything at Tony Busby. I think the thing they didn't count on is Tony Busby is not new to this. He is true to this. The same way Alex Spiro runs New York and LA, Tony Busby got his own piece of heaven in Texas. He is actually suing Quinn Emanuel, and he says he has video or tape proof that they actually did very illegal things to even bring these trumped up charges to pass. But anyway, let's get into Tony Busby's scathing. And when I say scathing, I mean scathing letter. I hope to God, for Jay-Z's sake, that this doesn't turn out like another Annalisa Torres literally dragging them up and down. I honestly hope to God, because they can't take another embarrassment. They cannot take another embarrassment. And I have been very clear on the fact that I do believe that Jay-Z needs to litigate this in order to squash all doubt, But that's just my opinion, right? They ain't got to listen to me. Ain't nobody suing me. So no matter how much people are wishing, ain't nobody suing me. Anyway, right? Here's what Tony Busby wrote. Let's get into this. Is fresh off the presses. He wrote it back on December 31st, 2024. What is the significance of that? Baby, he is saying new year, same old problems. You got 99 problems, but baby Jay-Z, Tony Busby is your biggest one. On top of that, it's a power move in legal things, because the fact that they didn't take till even after the holidays to issue a response let us know, or at least Tony Busby is trying to send the message that not only did they anticipate that they would take that path, but they were waiting on them to take that path. And because they were waiting on them to take that path, it to me, it would make me more self-conscious about my next move. And it would make me think that this move wasn't the right move because you already anticipated it and you had an answer for it. But you know how that is. Really quick, Michael Valentine said, love you, Tisa. Keep doing your great work. Thank you, Michael. Miss Gemini, thank you for being you gotta love Geminis. Y'all be sneaking that in everywhere. Miss Gemini, thank you for being a member for 15 months. You said happy 2025 TT and the Title Toast family. Y'all know it's the year of the snake. You know it is the year of the snake. Let me know if you want me to go live January 1st and we can do some. I mean, I would say we'll pull the tarot cards out, but how about this? We can do some astrology for Eastern and Western. We can do the traditional Western zodiac and we can combine that with Eastern astrology, and we can even do the primal zodiac. If you're not into it, and I know all the Virgos in the chat are like, oh, astrology's not even real. If you're not into it, that's fine. But I think that might be something fun for us to do on New Year's. We're gonna start having some fun on this channel. Also, Auntie L said, thank you, Tisa. Oh, thank you, Auntie L, for making me everything I am. And also the Hood Riller said, Tony Busby wakes up listening to Nas Ether. Yo. Tony Busby wakes up to Ether being like, F Jay-Z, Jay-Z, you know, Ether starts, what, blah, 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 lose, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, right? I think that'll be really fun for the new year. If Year the Snake promises a lot of surprises, and I want to go over, it'll be cool. And then I'll even let people call in and we can do some primal astrology. It's actually really good. It's really good. Primal astrology does both. And if anybody wants to see what's in store for them for 2025, we can do that. Also, Infinite Wisdom, thank you so much for gifting 5 Tattletales memberships. Chat, make sure Tattletales, make sure y'all thank Infinite Wisdom for the free subs. Okay, let's get into this, right? This is Tony Busby letting them know on December 31st, 2024, baby, I already knew you was going to do this. I'm in your head, Jay-Z. I'm in your head. Okay, anyway, right? Your Honor, I write on behalf of plaintiff Jane Doe in response to defendant Sean Carter's letter dated December 30th, 2024, pursuant to which defendant requests leave to file a motion pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 12B6. That is a motion to dismiss. To dismiss plaintiff's first amended complaint? Your Honor, the defendant states his intentions to move for dismissal on the grounds that Jane Doe cannot pursue her claim under the New York City Victims of Gender Motivated Violence and Protection Act because the GMVA does not have retroactive effect. However, neither the Second Circuit nor the New York Court of Appeals has endorsed this reading of the GMVA. In support of his argument, defendant cites a trial court order decided on an unopposed record, which is merely pervasive authority. He cites Lewis v. Neerhofer. And that was Southern District of New York in 2023. It is very young law. The more law has history behind it and judges that back it up, it becomes binding or at the very least precedent. Persuasive is like, okay, so there's something there, but it's not really holding the judge to decide one way or the other. Persuasive means it is firmly pushing the judge to side on one way, and binding means if a judge sides on the other side, it's grounds for a new trial or for a new trial. Okay. Anyway, listen, they said pro se. That means that pro se means the plaintiff represented themselves. Plaintiff found to brief GMVPL retroactively issues. Okay. And then he also said plaintiff found to address GMVA retroactively issue. The defendant's argument as to the GMVA is unpersuasive, Your Honor, as it is contrary to the law's primary intention to make it easier for victims of gender motivated violence to seek civil remedies in court, not, as defendant would have it, to make it harder. New York City they said New York City passed the GMVA in light of the void left by the Supreme Court's decision in United States v. Morrison. Morrison struck down the federal right of action for victims of gender motivated violence under the Violence Against Women Act, holding that Congress lacked the authority under the Commerce Clause or the 14th Amendment to pass such remedy. Now, really quick, let me just give you guys a quick dive into constitutional law. The states really are, the United States was really built kind of like on the model of the Roman Empire, to the point that we are, even though we are states, the Roman Empire was held by separate but interrelated nation states. United States, yes, we are states, but we are separate but interrelated. I really don't think people understand under the US Constitution how much states have rights to do everything. States even have rights to tell the federal government to go F themselves. The way the government decided to keep the states not under heel, but, kind of like an alliance, it's through the Commerce Clause. The Commerce Clause means Congress cannot dictate what states do. The federal government cannot come and be like, you're going to make this law and this law and this law. However, the Constitution does make it legal, right? That the federal government can sweet talk states into adopting the laws, such as, do you need agriculture funds? Well, we can give you some agriculture funds from the federal pocket, from the tax dollars, if only you would abide by the rule that marijuana will be illegal on a federal, on a state level. Do you want funding for schools? Do you want funding for roads, for highways, for the federal things that put in money into each state's purse? I'm not dumbing this down, but I'm watering this down a lot, but I'm trying to just give you guys the thing, right? Do you want this? Well, if you do, I think that you guys should opt to adopt our federal law, because states can't actually be like, F you, I'm not going to do this, and I really don't care. When federal people put out law, not constitutional things, that binds everyone, but laws. When federal authorities and agencies put out laws or guidance or issuing, a state really can be, F you, I'm not going to do it. That's where the Commerce Clause comes in. Through the spending, right, of federal tax dollars, they can entice states to go along with whatever they're saying. Okay. So, but again, the Commerce Clause is not far reaching. There are limits even to the Commerce Clause or the 14th Amendment. He is saying that what they are suggesting is unconstitutional, and it goes against the intent of the Constitution. This is a very heavy pushback, because when you get into, Your Honor, I believe this infringes on my client's constitutional rights. If a judge is like, yeah, we don't care, Rockefeller for life, and they vote for in Jay-Z's rule in Jay-Z's favor, you can go to the appellate court. If the appellate court is like, we don't care, it's the rock in the building, and they don't care, because it is a thing of constitutional rights, this has the potential to go all the way to the Supreme Court. Now, will it? Who knows? But it just goes that this is the type of heavyweight law that Busby is throwing out. The Supreme Court, so he continued, Your Honor, the Supreme Court, however, urged local governments to provide a remedy to women like Morrison, that was the woman from the case law that he cited, who had been brutally raped, as no civilized system of justice could fail to provide her a remedy New York City rallied to that call and passed the GMVA. That's C. Caldiz v. Jones. Y'all don't care about the case law, do y'all? Okay, we'll move on, right? That case law, Caddis v. Jones, said legislative history of the GMB shows the council intended to fill the void left by Morrison. So he's basically saying, y'all are saying, aha, we got you, it's 3 months. Where Busby's saying there is all this case law that says that when cases like this arise, the judge, they meant the GMB to fill in that gap, that there must be some remedy when people are brutally raped, like this person is alleging. Now, again, he's going against Jay-Z, but let's also not forget, he is also going against Diddy. Diddy and all his corporations are attached. Jay-Z is just attached to this case without Rock Nation. Diddy is the big fish. Diddy is the money. And when you think about it, if all the claims are true, Diddy is the one that did most of the stuff. Now, Jay-Z did, if you can believe these allegations, his own dirt, but Diddy is the demon master. Okay. Sorry. Hey, sweetie. My doggy just got in. Okay. So anyway, right? Okay, here we go. Okay. The city council recognized that gender motivated violence is widespread throughout the United States and that 3 out of 4 women will be the victim of a violent crime sometime during their lives. Wow, that's actually really scary. The council has concluded that victims of gender motivated violence frequently face a climate of condescension, indifference, and hostility in the court system. The council sought, therefore, Your Honor, to create a private right of action for victims of gender motivated violence to resolve the difficulty that victims face in seeking court remedies by providing an officially sanctioned and legitimate cause of action for seeking redress for injuries resulting from gender motivated violence. It is fundamental that in interpreting the statute, the court should attempt to effectuate the intent of the legislator, holding that based on statutory text and history that the GMVA was intended to apply retroactively. We'll get into that in a second because it goes into the core of Alex Spiro's argument. The council intended the GMVA to make it easier for victims of gender motivated violence to seek court remedies and intended the same when it passed at the 2022 amendment to the law. They literally said at page 41, testimony in support of the Act's passage describing the sexual abuse in 1993. In summary, there is no timeline for processing trauma. Now, let's pause right there because this goes to the core of what Alex Spiro's gotcha was, right? The gotcha was that this is all barred. It's like me saying, yeah, it don't matter because Target is closed. Yeah, but Target is closed. It really honestly doesn't matter. The store is closed. It doesn't matter that you have your receipt. It doesn't matter you want to return. It doesn't matter. The store is closed. There's nothing you can do. He is saying that is a misnomer. You are trying to act like this store for justice has 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. and I got there at 11:01. No, I'm sorry. And I got there at 11:01 and it don't matter whether I'm ready, I'm banging on, I can't get let in. Tony Busby is saying you're treating this like regular Target operating hours when in fact, this is a 24-hour CVS. When in fact, this is a 24-hour Rite Aid. This is a 24-hour Walgreens. There is no time limit. When you look at whenever there's a question about whether legislation does apply, you look to see what the courts have decided. Tony Busby is saying, even if I look to see what the courts decided, Jay-Z is citing very thin law that nobody can stand on. Tony Busby is saying, I'm citing real precedents, okay, that you can rely on. But even if you were confused about what the lawmakers get, whenever it comes to a tie, well, I don't know what it means. as a legal professional, you are supposed to actually go in and look at the legislation. If you guys have ever looked at a bill that's been passed, there's a lot of notes on the bill. Why is that? Because the purpose of the bill is to reflect what the legislative wanted it's to reflect what the legislation, the actual intention of the legislation. So, right? Every bill that's passed, there's always notes in it. Whenever there is a tie like this, you look to the notes to see what was the actual intention. Was the actual intention for the target to take returns at any hour of the clock? Or was the intention for it to keep strict 7 to 11 hours? Tony Busby is saying that when you go to the law that was passed and you look at the notes that accompany each law that's passed, the actual intent of the legislation, he's saying that's on my side. He's saying it is on my side. It's on my side. So let's move on because we'll get back into this, right? Let's see. One second. Okay. So, okay. He said, similarly, the defendant also intends to seek dismissals on the grounds that any viable GMV law claim is time barred under New York's Child Victims Act, the CVE, which preempts Jane Doe, my plaintiff's GMV law claim. Yana, they're saying this court, right? In Doe v. Gooding, found that local anti-discrimination laws are generally not preempted by state law in New York. Moreover, in Doe v. Black, this court rejected the very same argument defendant makes here. Again, when he says this court, he's talking about the Southern District of New York. If you guys don't know anything about like law, deciding precedents, cases that are decided in your court weigh so heavy. So do cases, of course, in the Supreme Court. They are binding law. But also, when you look at other courts, there are different circuits. Each circuit has its own weight. Certain weights have more weight than others. They all have weight, but certain ones have more weight than others. However, the fact that the Southern District of New York 2 times said that they are not preempted by law, state law in New York. And on top of that, the court rejected the very same argument that Jay-Z is making here. Now, that I think is like, right? Literally, listen, headshots for the year, huh? You better walk around like Daft Punk. Literally, Tony Busby is handing out headshots for the year and he was waiting on them. So this brings me back to what else does Busby have in his arsenal? Because baby, it seemed like he got a lot. Finally, as if he just didn't demolish every single argument. Finally, defendant intends to seek dismissal on the grounds that the conduct alleged in the facts of the case could not have occurred in New York City based, Your Honor, on plaintiff's description of the residence in question, combined with public records, confirms that any such residence was located outside of New York City. Your Honor, as defendant seeks to rely on evidence outside of the pleadings, which would transform a motion to dismiss to one for summary judgment, and as discovery is not yet underway, Your Honor, it is respectfully submitted that defendant's proposed motion is procedurally improper, Your Honor, and should be denied. And then they hit them with Xing Ming Ching v. A Taste of Mao in the Southern District of New York. In light of the foregoing, Your Honor, plaintiff respectfully requests the court to deny defendant's request to file a motion to dismiss. Now, let me just tell y'all something. this case is going to happen. Remember when I said I think it'd be in Jay-Z's best interest to go to court? Let's erase that, because in this channel, this is not a football game, right? We don't just have a team. When we get new information, baby, we erase off of our whiteboard and we assimilate that new information. Anybody that claims they don't have to, are you psychic? And if you are, what were the numbers for the 1.222 billion Powerball? Because that you wasting your time on YouTube. You need to go to Powerball, right? But again, assimilating new information, baby. Tony Busby wiped the floor with Jay-Z. And I now think this case is 100%. First of all, I did think there was a chance it was going to be thrown out. They made a very persuasive argument. However, this is what you paid these lawyers for in the big bucks. They actually did a deep dive into the actual legislation. They looked at the legislative notes that attach each bill, and they found this was the intent of the legislation, and they found case law in Southern District of New York. All right, let's get into this. The fact that they say plaintiff's description of the residence in question, combined with public records, confirms that any such residence was located outside of New York City. Now, we brought this up in the past live, but Tony Busby really shines the light of the law on it. That sunlight is the best disinfection. And we said you are making claims that something does or does not exist, and you have not submitted any evidence confirming that. You want us to take your word for it that this don't exist? The person we're accusing of that you're saying didn't happen in the first place. Now we're supposed to take your word that this house doesn't exist. Now, you might be right, but we're going to need some new evidence. He did not submit any evidence in this motion to dismiss proving or verifying anything he said. But Tony Busby also has a point. The reason you didn't do that is because if you attach evidence, it's no longer a 12B6. It's no longer a motion to dismiss. It is a summary judgment. A summary judgment is saying, based off of the evidence in front of the court at this point, there is no question of fact about whether this thing happened, either for and against. So a summary motion would be like, based off of all the evidence Alex Spiro gave us, there is no way, right, that this house could exist. So let's get out the way for summary judgment. The only thing is, the difference between a summary judgment and a motion to dismiss are when they happen in a trial. Summary judgment happens before you get to discovery. I'm sorry, motion to dismiss happens before you get to discovery. Summary judgment happens once evidence has entered the record, and you're saying all this evidence is BS. So there's that. Also, as they're saying, Jay-Z seeks to rely on evidence outside of the pleadings, right? Which would transform the motion to dismiss to one for summary judgment. And because discovery is not yet underway. As a matter of fact, Jay-Z just got served. I think he got served Monday or Friday. He just got served or accepted service of process. They're still trying to find Diddy. He hiding in his cell, right? They're saying it is respectfully submitted that the defendant's proposed motion is procedurally improper and should be denied. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. Whether you are a Jay-Z, whether you are a Jay-Z fan or not, we can admit that this ain't looking good. And this isn't about whether the case is going to be bought in Jersey. This is about the fact that you are making claims that work well in the media, but it's not slowing Buzbee down at all. This is huge. Like, hold on. One second. Okay. This is Really, really bad for Jay-Z. You, this is going to court. And the thing is, because we gotta ask, whether you think Jay-Z is innocent or not, baby, this is the law, and the law is what you can prove. And both these people have some of the best lawyers that money can buy, or the little pro bono amount, right? So, I mean, I gotta say, and this is the part that I'm just like, projection. They came in there saying that Busby was just talking ish. They said he was just yapping. They said he didn't have any good case law. They said he was this, posturing, doing this, doing that. Judge Annalise Torres came in and said what we've been saying on the channel for a while. I get it, and what you're doing is playing well in court, but legally, there cannot be a precedent set that you would attack an attorney for what his client is doing. And the thing is, with Jay-Z, and this has been on my mind for a while, with Jay-Z saying that, we checked the houses, we did this, we did VMAs, okay, all that might be true. But in all of this, there was not a sworn declaration that he didn't do it against penalty of perjury. There was also not a sworn declaration that he was not partying with Diddy. There were pictures of Jay-Z and Jennifer Lopez. Odd he would bring her into this. And Diddy partying at different places, even though everybody said that they were partying together at one point. But even if that doesn't go, there were pictures and all that stuff. But when you get into it, where's the sworn declaration saying, this is dumb? This is dumb. I was not at a BMA after party for Diddy in 2000 or 2003. But even if he was at the VMA after party, where's the sworn statement just saying, listen, I attest under penalty of perjury. I have never attended any of Sean Diddy Combs' SMEX parties, either private or public. I've never engaged in SMEX with a woman while Mr. Combs and anybody else was standing against the wall like it was a purge watching. I will still not get over the way she described that scene. It seemed like something out of the purge. She said that you got on top of them, right? And the other two people were just standing against the wall, like right over. Like they were standing at the wall looking out of their minds. Can you imagine all that going on? And if it's true, you see two people standing at the wall, like, is it my turn? Like it just sounded like a horror movie to me. Like, oh my God, are y'all about to cut my heart out? Anyway, right? It just strikes me as odd. Why don't you just write under penalty of perjury? Guess what? I wasn't at any of Mr. Combs's private SMEX parties or public SMEX parties. I wasn't there. I've never engaged. We are not friends, Your Honor, right? We are working associates. The nature of our relationship has never put us in a situation where there was any type of sexual activity that I viewed while Mr. Combs was in my presence. What's more, I've never engaged in sexual relations with anyone while Mr. Combs was present. So, Your Honor, in light of that, this cannot be true. It's like if somebody sued me for being in like a Diddy freak off. Let me shut up. The way y'all be, not y'all, but the way the people in the back be spreading rumors, let me just shut up. Right? But it's like somebody suing me for being at a Diddy freak off or even accusing me of being a Diddy freak off. What's the person say? Your Honor, no, I've never been in a room with anything sexual going on while Mr. Combs was present, either publicly, either privately, in the terms of our relationship. That has never. What's more, Your Honor, we don't really have a relationship. I don't really know him. We're not really friends at all. True, you see pictures, but as soon as the cameras left, I was like, oh, all right. And I would go sit with my billionaire superstar wife. It's just odd to me that out of all this rah, 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 sis, boom, bah, where is the denial that I never engaged in any freaky deaky stuff while Diddy was present? That's it. That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. Unless that can't be said. I don't know. Or maybe they're waiting to see if the case moves forward before they sign the sworn declaration. Again, Maybe Alex Spiro is doing this in waves, and there is a method to his madness, and they're holding on to their ace card until they can really pull it out and have it mean something. Maybe that's what's going to happen, right? Now listen. Busby, listen. Again, Jay-Z's team is saying the law doesn't work here, the timeline's wrong, and the incident happened out in New York City. Busby is saying that you're out of your mind. The law 100% applies, and I gave case law out of your own court, the Southern District of New York. So we can put that to rest, right? The timeline argument is weak. He points out another law. The Child Victims Act doesn't block Jane Doe's case, and similar arguments have already been rejected by other courts. They said the location hasn't even been proven yet. So why would we even take your thing? Remember, I said that if they want to prove that location, they're going to have to go into limited discovery. That's just my guess. They're going to go into limited discovery. They're going to subpoena the records for the party planner, for the people that were working with the party planner, for the bartenders, for the waitresses. But even then, if you can get all those people to lie, you know what doesn't lie? Invoices don't lie. For the people that had to bring in the chairs and the beds, or the people that had to drop off the baby oil, and baby oil was there. For everybody that had to drop something off, the vendors for food, the free Ciroc alcohol, the people that had to drop off things, the lighting people, the people that had to drop off things for the people that had to drop off things for the party planning. I'm sure they have invoices, receipts, but more importantly, I'm sure they have delivery addresses. I'm 100% sure, because they are companies, and probably huge companies. They probably kept all those records for tax services, the drivers, the limos, the security people you had to hire, right? There is a record of all of that. If you go into limited discovery, yeah, it is curtains. On top of that, right? Let me tell you something. If one second. I will say this, and I've said it again and again. I think Tony Busby's his response right now in this letter that was delivered New Year's Eve, and you can't tell me they didn't just type this. They were waiting on Jay-Z's team to come with this BS. They were waiting on this. This would throw me off so much, because you're in my head. You're in my head. The fact that you're in my head lets me know that you see pretty much my whole legal strategy. And we all know that law is like a dance. If I know you going 2 step to the left, baby, we can, right? You know what I'm saying? Listen, let's get into this. Hold on. Listen. Also, Super Christian Me World said Busby shoots like Buzz Lightyear, stings like a bee. He damn sure does. Cassandra Johnson, thank you so much for the super sticker. That's right. Christian Me World, thank you so much again for the super chat. You said Busby shoots like Buzz Lightyear, stings like a bee. Where we go from here? Thank you so much for the super sticker. Summer Dragon said, love your faces, straight info. Oh, thank you, Summer. Not Dragon, Dugan. Thank you, Summer. Lose. Is it Luz or lose? Luz said, Tisa killed it for 2024. Happy New Year. Much love, Tactical Squad. Fire Snake. Woo! Okay, we're going to do the Fire Snake. And you know what? We're going to get some tarot popping for New Year's Day. That is going to be my gift to you. But don't worry, you guys. I have plenty of gifts. And I'm telling you, when we hit 500K, I have the celebration of all celebrations planned. And it's going to be so fun. I guarantee it. Also, Amanda Kravis said, no evidence, no witnesses, story unreliable, dismissed. Amanda, no, honey. First of all, no. 2 weeks ago, maybe, but you're running with the same thing. And I get it. You're making good points. But let me just say this. There is evidence. When you are pleading, and this is the thing that I think a lot of celebrity lawyers get away with. When you are pleading, you don't have to put your whole case out there with all the evidence. You don't. Now, the other side wants you to do that, because the earlier they know what you're going to say is the earlier that they can shut you down, right? But let me just say this. When you're pleading, you only have to give the bare scraps. This happened to me. He did it, and I want him prosecuted. That's it. or I want payment for that, right? That's all you have to do. Hold on, y'all. The cold medicine is wearing off. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. So this stuff about no evidence, like Tony said, the evidence comes out in discovery. And I think we're all losing sight of the fact that the evidence, Jay-Z's and Tony Busby, your evidence will come out. Jay-Z's evidence that he did not do it will come out in discovery. However, he still can sign something under penalty of perjury that he didn't do it, right? So when you're saying there's no evidence, nobody knows what evidence Busby has until it gets to discovery. And again, Diddy's team, there's no evidence. I don't have to give evidence. This is a pleading. It's not the actual case. So you can't tell by a pleading how much evidence you have. And you just need something plausible, and you need something for which relief can be granted. And they have done both. So that factor, prong test, doesn't pass. No witnesses. We don't know if there were any witnesses. We literally have a Frankenstein quote from her father saying he doesn't remember that. But we don't even know the context. And a judge is not going to decide a case based off of an NBC context. On top of that, if they were so sure of that, right? They could actually have a sworn affidavit written by the father stating that he believes all these claims are false and it never happened and he thinks his daughter's lying. They don't have a sworn written affidavit. They don't have anything. They don't even have anything under penalty of perjury saying she is lying. So when you're saying there's no witnesses, we don't know what witnesses they have. We don't know if they have somebody from the Diddy parties. We don't know if they have the gas station attendant. We don't even know. Well, they can't have the friend because I think, hold on, y'all. They can't have the friend because I think the friend passed away, right? But when you get into all that stuff, we don't know what they have because, again, no evidence on either side has been submitted. Because as much as people want to say Tony Busby don't have evidence, and this is being fair to both sides, you know, I'm like, Busby don't got evidence, blah, blah. As much as people say that Tony Busby doesn't have evidence, my question to them would be, what evidence has Jay-Z submitted besides his word that it didn't happen? He promises, cross his heart, hope to die, it didn't happen. What proof has he submitted? Even his thing that they conducted a thorough search. They conducted a thorough search and they have found out that there's no houses within 20 minutes. Where's the thorough search? Where's the public records? What did you check? I don't know. What evidence did y'all get besides a picture of J-Lo and Diddy arguing in a club and J-Lo and Diddy walking around smiling and Jay-Z walking through another club smiling, which we don't even know what club it is. We're just taking the word because they haven't even given evidence to prove that that club is the club they say. They didn't even give evidence in those pictures to prove that were submitted in the legal documents that was actually pictures from that night. They gave no evidence besides, yeah, you can believe us. So I would argue that neither side has given any evidence. They have made assertions, but neither side has given evidence. But again, to go back to no witnesses, we don't know if there's witnesses. Why? Because we don't know the evidence yet. Why? Because in discovery is when you get the evidence. And then when you you also get, when you're setting the trial calendar, a list of witnesses that people plan to call. As well as in discovery, you get a list of the people that are corroborating your story in evidence. Also, the story is unreliable. Okay, well, maybe. But I would counter that when it comes to any thing involving sexual assault or violence, all the stories are unreliable. Every single one. Ask anyone that's ever been in a car accident, right? So what happened before you hit the car? Ask them. Ask them what happened. Ask them what happened. Now ask them about a car accident 20 years ago. And this is just a car accident. There are so many people that cannot recount what they were doing moments before, 20 minutes after. Trauma it does strange things to human memory, especially trauma like this. Now, to be fair, Amanda, that doesn't mean that Jay-Z's guilty. It doesn't mean that Jane Doe is telling the truth. it does mean that there is enough of a plausible claim to survive a motion to dismiss and that this case will 100% move forward. I feel like you guys are like, it's an unreliable claim. It's something that has to be an outright lie, not unreliable. And we don't know how unreliable it is because the only word we have for it is Jay-Z's word, which he could be telling the truth, but you're the one that's being sued. So no. And we have an NBC article, NBC write-up for a story that, by the way, gave weird quotes, didn't let us hear the context, took things out of things, gave us basically quotes, and you never aired the full interview. There's a reason why for Dateline, 2020, all those places, those interviews are an hour because you need context. You need to see the questions the journalist asks and hear them in their entirety, right? And then you need to hear the response in its entirety, coupled with what were their facial expressions going, what happened, this and that, to actually gauge whether someone's lying or not. But even then, no court case has been won or lost solely from an interview. And I would argue that if the interview played a role in the case, it was played in front of the jury. And both lawyers argued whether it was good or bad. But there ain't a court case in the world that has been, at least I don't think, won or lost off of an interview that we didn't even get the questions in context. We didn't even get serious anyway. But I get your point, Amanda. And I think this argument would have flown maybe 2 weeks ago. But now, after everything that's happened and after the law that Busby is citing, I don't think this actually stands. And I think a lot of people don't understand the difference, like what discovery actually is. And the fact that a lawyer would have to be stupid to put all their evidence in the initial pleading. You never want the other side to get a heads up on what's going. You see what I'm saying? Again, maybe there is no evidence, but this is definitely going to court. 100%. He might even in court, if there is no evidence in court, say, oh, we want a motion for summary judgment. But this is going to trial. This is, or it might settle. Lady D, thank you so much for the super sticker. Mo McDaniel said, I'm saying Yana, all 2025. Happy New Year, Tisa. And also Happy New Year to the Tattletales. Thank you so much, Moon McDanielson. Thank you for being a member for 20 months. You've been rocking with me for a long time. We will be 4 years in April 18th of 2025. Four years. And let's hope for 4 more. Nicola, thank you so much. You said Baldoni filed a huge lawsuit and lots of proof. Let me tell you something. I read through Baldoni's lawsuit. Listen, that's 100% going to court too. But Baldoni's huge lawsuit, he's not really suing. He's suing the New York Times. You know what? We'll get into that later. Justin Baldoni, I don't care about the lawsuit he filed. I saw the letter he signed saying he would stop doing all these disgusting things on set. Baby, they were very Diddy-ish. YM Joy said, not saying it proves anything, but in the paternity suit, a big part of Jay-Z's defense relied on him denying ties to New Jersey and arguing venue instead of facts. Exactly. It's funny to me how, and I get it, baby, if I'm in trouble, I want my lawyer to argue everything. But it's funny to me how, even in Jay-Z's argument of this, isn't that he didn't do it. It's the fact that even if I did do it, it shouldn't be in. I mean, he did say a couple times it didn't happen, but you know what I'm saying? They're not really attacking the facts. They're attacking the technicality. But I will say one thing for Alex Spiro saying, it's very shrewd lawyering. First, you try to get it thrown out for not having proper venue or forum. Then you want to check to see, are any statute of limitations told? The law is a dirty game. And if you can get your opponent knocked out on a technicality, well, baby, a win is a win. So he's doing solid lawyering. I just think that as much as Jay-Z said, you mess with the wrong person and you're underestimating me, I think both of them are guilty of underestimating each other. I think that Tony Busby was thrown off by the veracity and strength of Jay-Z's response. But I think Jay-Z was thrown off and greatly underestimated Tony Busby by calling him an ambulance chaser and this and that, because he's not. He's one of the best, if not the best trial attorney right now in the country. If we can look at, and I believe for 2024, one of his cases, he settled 15 cases in the last quarter of the year. And one of them is the highest settlement ever in 2024. You see what I'm saying? I feel like he really underestimated Tony Busby. They did. To the way the media was trading him, like he was like, woo, like Benny Hill and an ambulance chaser, when he is literally one of the best trial attorneys. And yes, it was sloppy what happened with that Jane Doe. And yes, they did catch him slipping. But see, that's the thing about when you're dealing with somebody that is one of the best, even, and this is law, even if you catch them slipping, they're going to recover just like that. Just like if Alex Spiro is probably going to recover just like that. Again, I think that both of their egos got the best of them. But with Tony Busby, I think he was thrown off by the veracity of Jay-Z's PR media onslaught, right? But I think Jay-Z made the worst error by basically thinking that Tony Busby was just some ambulance chaser that didn't know what he was doing, because that's not who he is at all. And also to the fact of he thought that he could shame him into backing up and discredit him. And the thing is, I get it. Busby left Jay-Z no choice when he dropped that mess on Blue Ivy's premiere. That was an act of war. But likewise, what you did to Busby, the this, the that, it was an act of war. And it seems like to me that Jay-Z like emptied the clip out on Busby and thought that he had ended it, right? And Busby got up and was like, literally, Busby got up. It feels like they emptied the clip on Busby, but they missed. They didn't hit any vital organs, and he got up, and baby, now he coming at you. YM Droid, exactly. And that paternity suit. Let's see that paternity suit. What's going on with that? I need to research that. Somebody said, why didn't NBC report the age of the pot? Thank you. Where do we go from here? Thank you for bringing that up. The way NBC did not give any issue about the age of the father. They also didn't tell us anything about the father. The father said in the interview that they quoted, yeah, I had a lot going on back then, but they never told us what, or even asked, well, what did you have going on back then? Oh, well, you know, blah, blah, blah. But why wouldn't you know? They never asked any follow-up questions. We actually don't know what they asked, actually. They only gave us those little Franken bits. So exactly, what is the age of the father? What was going on at that time? Why couldn't the father admit? What did he mean by he had a lot going on back then? Somebody tells you, well, I had a lot going on back then. And you're like, okay, we got the soundbite. Come on, wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Amanda Kravitz said nobody can collaborate her story according to her. That's not true. Who told you that? According to her, nobody. First of all, she said in the story, when they said your dad doesn't remember, she was like, there's a lot of things my dad doesn't remember from that time. They said he was a mess during that time. And he said that even now we argue about it all the time, that he doesn't remember anything that happened for a lot of important things. To me, it suggests that the girl's father is dealt with or is dealing with some type of, I don't know, right? But there's something there, right? When somebody says nobody can corroborate your story, so the person that drove her down is no longer alive. Okay, we don't know if they OD'd. We don't know if it was a car accident. We don't know anything. That's the person that drove them down there. However, we don't know if the gas station attendant can corroborate. We don't know if her other friends can't corroborate. We don't know if she actually, hey, sweetie, we don't know if she actually got a number from somebody at the party and they stayed in touch with her. We don't know if she don't have the limo driver's number. We don't know if she doesn't have the house address. We don't know if she doesn't have the address to the gas station. We don't. So when you're saying nobody can corroborate her story, what are you going off an NBC interview? Did the NBC interview ask, do you have anybody else to corroborate your story? Because if they didn't ask that, and I'm 100% sure they didn't ask that because I read that story. I read that story in detail. Then we don't know that nobody can corroborate. Again, this will come out in discovery. You may be right, Amanda. This is what I'm going to say. You may be right, Amanda. You could be right, but right now it's too early to say that. For you to say that it's a definite, no, there's nothing, there's no proof that she doesn't have anybody to corroborate her story at all. At all. And NBC never asked. And Jay-Z and his legal team never said anybody can't corroborate her story. They just said that her own father said he doesn't remember, or he thinks he wouldn't. That's it. That's it. That's it. There's other people besides your father. I mean, I would think if you could get some high school friends, I would think the gas station attendant, maybe she took somebody's number at the party. I don't know. Anyway, right? Lovely Blue Rose said, thank you, Tisa, for staying on these demons' necks. As I said from the beginning, a drop of water in the Pacific Ocean. The deviants are going down, baby. From your lips to God's ears, let it be spoken. Hibiscus Rose said, Tisa, can one defendant settle and another stand trial? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's called releasing somebody from the claim. So if you are a co-defendant, you can say that you would like for for them to be removed from the thing with prejudice. Without prejudice means I'm releasing you from this claim, but I reserve the right to bring it up again. I'm sorry, that's without prejudice, right? So it means I could maybe bring it up again. With prejudice means that I will never talk about this again. Usually when you see with prejudice, usually it means I think that a settlement happened. Sometimes it could just be that they didn't have any evidence and they were like, you release me, I'm going to sue you, right? But people, co-defendants can be released all the time and the main case will actually move forward. So again, Diddy could settle right now and then Jay-Z would have to be the one to stand trial. Even though what would be powerful? Why don't they get a signed letter from his associate Diddy that that Jay-Z was never there and that this is all lie? That would be very, very powerful. Although it would be powerful for public opinion because I think if you're co-defendants, no, it would be powerful in court too. Res ispa locator. Res ispa locator. The thing speaks for itself, meaning that if we're in the room and we're the only people in the room there, and I say that I didn't do it and you say you didn't do it, the law is like, well, somebody did it. Y'all was both in the room. So we're going to try both of y'all, right? Unless somebody says, okay, it was me. And then the other person isn't to blame. I don't know how it would work in this case, though, because just looking at logistics, they're both accused of doing something. So even if Diddy says it wasn't Jay-Z, it was me. And the girl's like, no, it was you and Jay-Z. But again, it's something. It's something, right? But there you go. And Gregory Smith, thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. And also Passions Place. Oh, thank you so much for being a member for 12 months. You said you're standing with the victims. I'm standing with the victims. I am standing with the victims until I get more evidence, maybe in discovery, maybe it goes to trial, because you guys, we have to keep our minds open with this too, with this Shay season. That's why I want this to go to trial. Sunlight, to quote Tony Busby, is the best disinfectant. If this goes to trial, we can actually see the evidence and we can weigh for ourselves what we think happened, and then the jury is going to actually weigh into. Until then, it's just a bunch of PR propaganda. And to Tony Busby's credit, he's not the one the judge is accusing of doing PR propaganda. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not the one the judge is accusing of doing PR propaganda. So there we have it, you know? There we have it. Also, I want to give a oh, thank you. Mixed Chip Samantha. Shout out to B Rim and also Mixed Chip Samantha. And also who else is in here? The mods. For saying, Mixed Chick says, reminder, opinions are welcome. We don't have to agree, but let's keep the comments respectful, positive, and supportive. Also, please use YouTube friendly words or disguise the words. You guys, thank you so much. And I have the best mods in the world. You guys know I give my mods all the discretion in the world. If people are being disrespectful, either to me, but more importantly to the people in the chat, you guys, we want to have conversations. We can attack the idea and not the person. My mods know if anybody is being disrespectful to people in the chat, being too vulgar, to this, to that, they have my free reign to block them. Okay. I trust my mods with my eyes closed. Please feel free if anybody is being super rude, disrespectful, vulgar, or whatever. Go ahead and block them. You don't even got to delete comments. It is 2025. Again, people can say whatever they want on their channels, in their living rooms. You guys, this is our house. This is the Tattletale house. There will be order in our house, guys. And all we ask for order is just for everyone just to be respectful. You can attack the idea, right? But you don't need to attack the other person, right? And if somebody's being like, well, you did, well, I know, but it's my MFN channel. So what y'all want? What y'all want? Come on. I got house rules. Okay. Listen, Bison Bill said, is y'all hair real? Bison Bill, these are boho braids. Are you dumb? Are you black? If you are, you need to get a life. I'm glad. Anyway, what is this, an episode of School Days? Y'all sit up here down, looking at the edges, trying to see what's going on, if it's a wig or not. You idiots, these are boho braids. And when it's not, y'all know when it's my hair. When y'all see me with a, I'm not even answering this. Y'all are dumb. It's the School Days. Are y'all really lit? This is all y'all got to do. We talk about life and death. We talk about victims. And you spend $1.99 to ask if my hair is real. Oh, Bison Bill, I'm praying for you, baby. I'm praying for you. Anyway, P says, smoking gun could be the name of the limo driver. That is true. That is true. That is true. That is true. Passion's Place said, have a very happy new year. Passion Place, you have a happy new year too. You have a happy new, listen, you have a happy new year too. Woo! Everybody have a happy new year. And Bison Bill or anybody else, if you want my hair braider's name, I'll give her to you. No, actually, no, Bison. You do your own. You do your own here. Anyway, y'all, listen. At the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, I really do want to thank you guys for the community that you guys help me. Not actually, you guys didn't even help me create. You guys created it on your own, and you guys really did let me. You let me cook. You let me do my thing, and I really feel honored that you guys even let me vent your frustration or your questions, and let me actually be like a proxy or a surrogate to what you guys are thinking and feeling. I really appreciate with how honest, open, how warm and friendly everybody on this channel is. Like, you guys know, you guys are salt of the earth. And I do plan to reward you guys in 2025 just by honoring the, time and attention is some of the most valuable commodities. And I really want to honor the time that you guys give me each day, each week, each month, however, whenever you guys watch me, and also the intention that you guys give me. I really do appreciate that. And I do plan, all jokes aside, to honor that in 2025 and just move from a place of gratitude, gratitude. Because I think moving from a place of gratitude is like, it's the best place to be, because you never go wrong when you're moving from a place of gratitude. Also, Lovely Blue Rose said, you waiting for the international victims to begin filing their cases. God can do all things. You know, the Diddy team actually hopped, skipped, and jumped over to London. We did a few lives about that when they were actually interviewing people in London. Let's not forget Diddy's godfather to his kids, rich baby daddy, Ron Burkle, has a place in London, Lucian Grange, UMG, all this stuff. When that Cassie stuff went down, Diddy was literally doing a two-step in London, thinking he was about to come back and get his career back, no problem. They actually flew there because there were so many people that they needed to talk to that it was actually better for them to actually fly in. It was actually better for them to fly in instead of bringing everybody over. More cost effective too. So yeah. And Ward said 8 months at Tattletale, but a sub at 410K. Watching you thrive. Thank you. Thank you for all the intellectual and emotional work you put in. You're the best in the game. Oh, thank you so much, Anne. And thank you for your time and your attention. I really appreciate it. Where do we go from there? Said we all know JC. Where do we go from here? Said we all know Jay-Z wear the wig. Listen, I believe that Drake wears a man unit, right? And ever since he got mad at the community that we called him out, now he got a low fade again, and he over on Aiden Ross's live streams. But listen, there ain't nothing wrong with having feed in dreads. Dreads take a long time to grow. And judging from Little Wayne's dreads, they thin your hair out. You know, Little Wayne be having like, that's how you can tell how good he's doing. Sometimes he got 8 dreads, sometimes he got 3. Well, no, Little Wayne has kicked all his demons when he got a head full of dreads again. Also, he needs to like anyway, let me just stop it. Mixed chick. Oh my God. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Samantha. Thank you so much. Samantha gifted 5 Tattletales memberships. I truly appreciate it. And Super Christian Me World said, Buzbee shoots like lol. Set that already. Love you. Thank you, Super Christian Me World, my world. Thank you so much. So listen, you guys, listen. I'm going to try to go live a little bit close. I'm going to take some more medicine. I'm going to do a few more videos. I'm going to try to go live as close to midnight as I can. But if I do not get back on because I am passed out from my medicine, I just want to, again, thank you guys so much. I wish everybody all the health, wealth, success. I hope everything your heart desires you get this year. And I hope anything that does not serve you, no matter what you believe in, the Lord, Buddha, the Tao, the universe, no matter what you believe in, I hope whatever does not serve you, it is purged from your heart, that you no longer want and desire it, and that you are filled with a sense of peace, love, and purpose. And you spread that not just with your actions and your footsteps, but also in the lives of the people around you and that you love. I wish everybody so much love, so much success, but more importantly, so much more peace and harmony. In the coming years, I think we're going to need it. This isn't anything about political. This is more about class, the way the divide between the haves and the have-nots, and the fact that everything is just getting heavier and darker. And I am thankful to be able to provide some type of distraction, relief from that. But yeah, I think that just moving with love and intention, and gratitude. Because at the end of the day, we have right now, in this moment, the one thing that everything in this universe is fighting for, which is life first, life force. We are sitting here in the greatest manifestation of the glory of the universe, God, whatever you believe in, that we, against 1,000,000,001 odds, we're sitting here and we're alive. And every moment is a chance to just have more happiness, more love, to feel it, to share it, to give it. So, you guys, I wish you everything in this world can offer for 2025. The year of the snake will be amazing. Indigo Sun said, happy birthday. Bison Bill said, any advice for Travis Hunter? Any advice? Well, I don't know. Do boho locks so people can ask you if you're wearing a wig. Lovely Blue Rose said Judge Torres was not responding to Jay-Z because she was sipping Tisa tea. Alex Torres, though, is known for how thorough she is. But even I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, she clocked the tea. And something tells me if at Judge Torres in any way co-signs with what Busby says, it's a wrap for Jay-Z. Again, it seems like it was projection, that everything they accused Busby of being and doing, Judge Annalise Torres said Jay-Z was actually doing that. But we'll see what she says in the new thing. Indigo Sun, thank you so much for becoming a member. I truly, truly appreciate you guys. Okay. In any case, you guys, let me go take some more cold medicine. Happy New Year to everyone. If I do not see you around midnight, just know you have my love, my affection, my gratitude, and I plan to show you that each and every day of 2025. All right. I will see you. Who said Timo Dreads? That's why I can't talk to y'all. The power of cheese and Timu Dreads. Anyway, y'all, I will talk to y'all. I will talk to y'all later. Bye, everyone. Bye.